Hello and welcome to the next episode of Reeve's Ramblings. I think this is episode 6, I don't really know. What I do know, however, is that I am ill, and I have been ill for the past couple of weeks. If you watch my Reevlogs, you'll probably know that, but that's besides the point. I know that nobody watches them, so that's fine. I also am now on sleeping pills, which could be good, could be terrible, who knows. I'm still waiting on finding a thing so I can put my microphone in a better position, so I'm sorry if this is like quiet or something, but you know, life goes on, probably. But yeah, I'm on sleeping pills and doing driving lessons, and I hate both. The sleeping pills mean that I don't feel like physically tired all the time, and especially mentally tired all the time. But I can't think properly. My reactions are probably lower. It's just not good. And I'm wondering whether I should actually be driving today or not, because I've got a driving lesson at the time of recording this in like 2.5 hours. And so when I first start, I'm going to tell my driving instructor, who may be related to someone that I know, that, hi, I am on sleeping pills now. They say that you're not meant to drive or use heavy machinery, etc. if you feel drowsy. I don't really feel drowsy, but I will leave it up to your decision whether you think that I am capable of driving after we start. Just so if you think I am, then I can. If not, then fair enough, we'll just stop, I'll get out, and you can continue on your day and say, like, I'll pay you for half a lesson if we do that, but I know that you've booked up the time anyway, so maybe, like, may pay for the full lesson, because screw it, why not? Then I also have had 2 video ideas recently for this here YouTube channel. Sorry about that noise, I just stabbed a Jaffa cake box with a toothpick by accident. But yeah, I am going to hopefully be making both of them. The first one is a video on... oh no, I don't remember it. I wrote it down though, and I know vaguely where I wrote it down, so that should all be fine. And the other one is about whether one person truly can change the world in the same way that happens in movies and games and whatnot all the time. So the reason that I thought of that one is I was watching The Science with Austin Horrigan on... I think it's Austin Horrigan anyway, but his name's Austin, he does The Science. It was on the Shortycast channel. It was about why miracles in Dark Souls are now pants by Dark Souls 3. Today I also bought Sekiro Shadows Die Twice for YouTube, so I can do a playthrough. I also bought the Dark Souls Remaster and Dark Souls 2 on Steam, so now I have actual playable Dark Souls on my computer, along with Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, so now I can complete them all! Yay! Because my Xbox is far past its best, like, far past its best. But yes, what else? I don't really know, to be honest. But the thing that I was going to talk about in this was whether people like to feel important or not. Sorry it took me so long to get to the topic. As I said, my brain is not working properly at the moment due to sleeping pills. Yay! I may get onto that more at the end, but for now, do people want to feel important? Arguably, yes. Most people would probably agree that, in general, human beings want to feel important. The question is, why do they want to feel important? And is it they want to feel important in their own life, or do they want to feel important to other people? Potentially both. I personally want to feel important to other people, because I do feel important to other people, and it is that importance which makes me keep going. Because if I was of no use to anyone else, and there are people that I care about, then I wouldn't be of any use to myself, really. Now, that is not true. I would definitely be of use to myself. I would probably get more work done on my own projects and whatnot, but I wouldn't be happy with it. The main happiness that I get these days is helping out other people, and so, if I were to, not be important to other people, they didn't need me or desire my assistance in any way, then of course I would find myself sort of at a loss as to what to do with, like, to make myself happy. Of course I would likely find happiness in more conventional things, such as completing tasks, getting paid, buying stuff, doing shit like that, rather than making people happy and improving their lives and hopefully, in the grand scheme, the world itself. So that's how I like to feel important. But I know a lot of people also want to feel as though they have a sense of self-importance. They want to... It's hard to describe, really, because I don't feel it and my brain doesn't work right now, but they would like to be all that they need. They would like to be a autonomous, to the extreme individual. That's why a lot of people I know sort of resist relationships, for example. They think, I will become dependent on another person for happiness, and I can't have that, regardless of whether the happiness is greater than my current happiness or whatever, etc., etc. Now, I agree that you don't need someone else to make you happy. It just helps, makes it easier, etc. And so they're the kind of people that I mean when I say self-importance. Not like pompous, arrogant douche-knuckles, because those people, as we all know, are pompous, arrogant douche-knuckles, and for the most part deserve no joy. Well, that's too harsh. Not no joy, but no place on this podcast, aside from being smack talked, so to speak. But, yeah, I think most people want to feel important in the eyes of their peers. That's how most people, as far as I'm aware, desire to be seen and acknowledged. The reason that I say most people in this is because people in their day-to-day jobs, which most adults have, they want to be seen as an important part of the job, or of whatever they're part of outside for their job. Potentially both. The main reason they want to be important as part of the job is A, so they don't get fired, and B, so they might get promoted or a pay rise. And outside of the job, it could be in a family unit, they want to be seen as important, so they want their children or partner to think, this person is irreplaceable in my life, as I'm sure most people would. Then it could be a friend group where they don't want to be left behind or left out, and I know how that feels. I got left out of a lot of stuff from my friendship group when I was in high school. I still get left out of a fair bit, but that's fine by me because I don't have the energy or the funding to go ahead and do all these things. You may be thinking, oh, but you just bought 3 games on Steam. That is true, but they are also kind of a business venture, because the Soul series is something that I'm extremely passionate about, and the things that I'm passionate about usually wind up in some way, shape or form on the channel. Usually. And then the things on the channel are potentially one day going to be the things that I earn money off of. So, yeah. Oh, that's something I should do. One on why people end up desiring to earn money off of their hobbies. Yeah, well, I mean, I've finished talking about importance at the moment, so I guess I can run into that now. It's so they can keep doing them for the most part. Of course, there is the thing where if you can make money out of the things you enjoy, then is it really work? So I would argue, yes, but it's not a job. It is just work, and you can enjoy work, as many people have demonstrated throughout time. Work can be enjoyable, provided it is not stupid, well, provided it fits in with what you enjoy. I also have, I have a few hobbies. I've kind of dropped musician as far as hobbies go. I don't write music anymore, I don't play my guitar anymore, and I sing, but only to myself. And I've only ever really sang to myself aside from in my music GCSE, where the teacher specifically told me, do not sing. But I did it anyway. So yes, the Kung Fu, I would happily instruct Kung Fu. I plan on doing a instructional video series for Kung Fu for the YouTube channel, though I need to stick a disclaimer in at all times saying I'm not a licensed instructor. This is just what I know from my having been instructed, and like health warnings and stuff. But yeah, when I get a black belt, I would happily instruct Kung Fu because I thoroughly enjoy it, and it's knowledge I want to share. Same thing with if I do get an actual job, I'd like to be a teacher to share my knowledge of philosophy. Of course, it would be completely constrained and not how I'd like to do it, but it's the best option that I have available for an actual job, because you have limited but some freedom, and you still get summer holidays. But the YouTube thing is something I thoroughly enjoy. Not just because video games, who enjoys video games wouldn't want to get paid to play video games, but I also have the fact that I love talking to people and listening to people. I don't really have a community. I don't know whether I will ever have a community around my YouTube channel and Twitch streams. Twitch.tv/Norfolk Streams, by the way, every Friday. We don't have a set time yet, but it's every Friday at the moment. Yeah, it's like the communication part is part of what I love. I love the commentating over stuff. When I first started YouTube, not this channel, like my first YouTube channel must have been 5-6 years ago now. I started recording Dota 2 content. I couldn't upload it, my internet speed was too slow. It took about 3 days to upload, and the webpage would crash before it managed to actually upload it. But I must have got about 50 hours. They was terrible recorded quality as well, terrible microphone quality. I'm quite happy they didn't get uploaded, other than for the fact that I would have found them hilarious to go back and watch. But it is something that I was very passionate about, and I found myself commentating even when I wasn't recording, which I asked my favourite YouTuber, who's now back on the YouTube scene again, which I'm happy about, whether he ever did that, whether he found himself commentating as if he was recording when he wasn't recording. He said no, which I was perfectly expecting. I thought, yeah, I'm probably quite weird for doing this, and I probably was. I don't do it so much anymore, but it gives me the feeling that I used to have when me and my brother would play Jet Set Radio Future on our Xbox after school or at the weekend or whatever, and one of us would make progress, and then they'd go to the loo and the other one would scramble to play the game, and we would comment on it to each other, would make jokes, would laugh, would just have a fun time. It was probably some of the best memories I have with my family revolve around communally being part of something, because my family weren't really into much of the same things. My mum enjoyed Jet Set Radio Future for the music, but she couldn't play for shit. My brother completed it before me because he's older and played it more, and then I played the living hell out of it and have completed it about 3 or 4 times now, but we help each other get there. Same thing with Lost Odyssey. My brother and I, we were like our own small community when it came to that game. We never completed it, but he got to the first boss and got stuck. He got to the second boss and got stuck, and I managed to do both of them. And then he played through more of it, and then he got bored anyway. And I was like, it's nice to be able to talk about these things whilst they're happening, to vent any frustrations you have. It's very cathartic. And so if, like, my mother is very much not a fan of the fact that I enjoy playing games a lot. She often says that I put too much time into Dungeons and Dragons and wish I'd take my university studies as seriously as I do my games. Which, you know, I do take my studies at least as seriously as I do my games. I just don't enjoy them as much because I don't get as much options and choice of things that I want to do. And when I do, I still have to be tested on it, which is understandable. but the tests are in very specific ways. Like, you have these questions to choose from, not write about this. Like, if they, instead of saying something like, Cartesian dualism has infiltrated the modern man's psychology to be seen as factual or normal. Discuss. Rather than saying that, just say, talk about Cartesian dualism. That would be much better, because that way it promotes, your own thought more. You have to actually come up with interesting things. You could just talk about it and say everything you've learned, but given how the marks criteria works, that is not how you would get higher marks. You need to actually come up with cool stuff yourself, like Cartesian dualism, which is incredibly similar and almost perfectly fitting with Platonic dualism. They could potentially be true, but simultaneously they don't have answers for certain things, and then you can come up with potential answers for that, what the people who did it, what their answers were, why they don't work, or why if they do work there's some of the explanation missing, and how it's possible that you'll never find the answer, etc, etc. There's so much you can do, but you just can't when it's worded how it is. So Dark Souls 2 is now downloading, because Dark Souls Remaster is finished downloading, I think. Let's have a look. Yep. So I may go play and record some of the remaster, because I've still got 2.25 hours till my driving lesson, and I need to have a cup of tea to calm down, because driving makes me feel terrible, and I always need to calm down before I go. So yeah, I might play the remaster, because, oh god, I'm excited for this. I wish I could have played it when it came out, but I really couldn't afford it. And now, like, they were on sale, so I bought them. I had a From Software binge. I'm very excited for Sekiro, even though it's not really so much my kind of game, because like I like my stealth, my ninja games, because it is a ninja game, to be closer to like stealth games, kind of like Dishonored, where you have like insane abilities that you can use to decimate people, but the challenge of it is to not do that and to go around the back alleys and over the rooftops and whatnot. But you never know, Sekiro might be something like that, but I won't find out until March next year. The next game that I'm going to be playing when it comes out fresh will be Darksiders 3, November 27th, I think, which is a Tuesday, and you betcha that if I possibly can, I'm going to be getting out a video that day on that game. First, like, reaction, first episode of the playthrough, and then the next day there will be the second episode, which will be recorded on the same day as the first one, like immediately after. Then following that will be the third episode, which will be recorded on the release date as well, if possible. And they'll all be uploaded, but the first one will be, boom, quickly. It'll be like my first hour, 2 hours of playing it. I might stream them at the same time over on the previously mentioned Twitch channel, and yeah, I'm excited for that. Apparently this the combat is more Souls-like, and yeah. Anyway, I am going to go because I can feel myself less rambling, well, more rambling, but becoming more and more incoherent and starting to like stutter a little bit, which I don't really want to do. I don't think anyone would be interested in listening to that at all. And yeah, I don't know whether anyone actually still is interested in this here podcast, but I personally enjoy it. I get to ramble, usually about a topic. Today it's like about 3, and it's been very off topic, but that, again, I blame my sleeping pills for, because I seriously am just unable to think clearly presently. Oh man, it's too hot in here as well. I need to open a window. But yeah, I may be releasing some Dark Souls Remaster content soon. We'll see. Regardless, I will catch you cats on the flip-flop, and I look forward to the next episode of the podcast. Speaking of podcasts, shortly before I go, I am hoping, but no promises, that I will be able to continue a podcast idea that I had last year that never came to fruition, which would be me and my housemate Johnny talking like a two dudes talking style podcast. 1 week, one of us will think of sort of a topic and stuff to discuss. We'll talk for quite a while and edit it down, and that same week the other person will do the editing. By week I mean month. It'd be a monthly podcast, and then the next time it would swap. So the person who did the editing would think of the topic, and the person who thought of the topic would do the editing, and then the other way around. Of course, I would be in charge of uploading, and it would probably be a dual thing to this channel and to the other channel. I'd probably just change the thumbnail around for each one, because there is a North Extremes YouTube channel, just we haven't put anything on it. I'm not sure if you can upload them to Twitch. If so, we'll probably do that as well. But yeah, just something to think about. We recorded something back in January that he's just never edited, but we'll see. It would just be audio just like this one, and maybe like put a GIF in rather than just the thumbnail as the video, but we'll see. Anyway, as I said, I'll catch you cats on the flip-flop, and goodbye.